if I was really going to try and reach 6 billion people, how am I going to have the resources to do that? You know what I'm trying to say? So, I'm not really thinking in terms of profit. I'm thinking in terms of reach. See, I'm trying to make it, what do you call, scalable. At this level, it's doable because the money still comes in. But I'm just thinking, you know, if I'm going to try and reach, say, 1 billion people, I would need to expend about $200 million. That's not some money I have. I don't have that kind of money. So I'm just thinking about how to, you know, make it into a model.
I just want to further discussion and just add on to what David said, or maybe contradict his point. I'm not trying to make an argument here. But we were in the same entrepreneurship class, and as far as I remember, the lecture we had on social entrepreneurship is, it's not about not making profit, it's more than profit. It means you can make profit, but it's more than profit. And I think the best example of social entrepreneurship is Grameen Bank, Muhammad Yunus, who got the Nobel Prize for Peace, because he thought about microcredit for Bangladesh, and he made a profit. Now that company makes some $1 billion per year in revenue. But I think your idea in terms of thinking about a small toothpaste which will last a poor person for 1 year is in itself a noble thought. Means it is more than profit, which I think we cannot question the thought behind it as being a social entrepreneurship, because many people confuse social entrepreneurship with no profit. But at least we were taught that it's more than profit. There will be profit.
Right. I think on the contrary to what you have just mentioned, I kind of like what David mentioned. We have established that social enterprise is not necessarily a non-profit organization. You don't have to. It's still an enterprising market or department that you actually make money. All right. But back to what David said earlier, he actually had a very good point, which he comes in from the tactical point of view. It's not just about branding like that gentleman there right at the end. He mentioned it's more like branding, making, like, for example, Colgate, you know, wow, it sparkles and everything, that kind. Tactical. Work with the infants, for example, work with the parents. It's very educational, it's very informative, because I think your product is not the, you know, the Prada, the glitter type. It is very important to make it like very informative and educational. So, and starting from the young is the best, with the parents, yeah. And, well, coming from the schools would be very effective.
Have you ever tried going to dental clinics or hospitals? And I mean, if there are people there who are just as interested as you in making oral hygiene a priority in people's lives, then they would want to promote your product, right? And they could also explain how it's used to the patients, because right now it's very, like, you have to read it and you have to try and understand it on your own. So the dentist would explain it and also recommend it at the same time.
Dentists think of how to upgrade their car from a Toyota to a Porsche. And they can't do that if they spend a little time with the patient talking about how they're going to make, talking about something which only makes them $4. Because my product is only $12 retail. But if they told you, hey, you got crummy teeth, let me whiten it for you right away and you come out sparkling, and I charge you $1,000, I paid my down payment for some of my Ferrari. And the fact of the matter is that businesses in Singapore are not necessarily thinking about, well, you know, it's about how we can benefit the patient. Yeah? I had the same idea once upon a time, and then I realized that the hard facts of life are a bit different. How we can benefit the patient, come out with instant results, and how we can benefit our pocket to pay our bills.
Actually, I want to kind of build up on her point. Looking at the instruction for the thing, right? It seems pretty confusing actually, and essentially we're just brushing our teeth, so it's a pretty brainless job, you know. And the fact that you want kids to, you know, use this 7 nights, you know, use the plug one, 7 mornings, use the other one. I mean, isn't that a bit much?
It's a technical product I developed. Yeah. Why this complicated instructions? The thing is, we have been brushing our teeth for what, 50 years, 200 years, for however long. Until now, nobody has come up with a solution which actually helps you brush your teeth clean, guaranteed. The reason why there's no money back guarantee in the plug disclosing toothpaste is because it cannot not work. I'm trying to use this more for the benefit of all of us who are actually going to be innovators, designers, creating new products, etc. And it's not just about toothpaste, it's about any product that you take. You first start with the raw product, and then you refine it so that it's marketable and it can go to market. Yeah.
Okay, like before you came here, there was like looking, okay, oral care, I have not heard of it, I wouldn't buy it ever. Because I don't trust it, I never heard of it. Then I'll buy Colgate over your product. But the only reason now why I believe in your product is after you have spoken right in front of them, your goal of changing the world, and I think it's a really noble cause. And I think you need to do that. You need to be able to speak to people in order to sell your product. So why not try this at a bigger scale by getting on the Oprah show?
Yeah, so okay, how much is your toothpaste selling? Yeah, that's one thing I don't understand about vegetarian or organic products is that if it's purely vegetarian or organic, it's going to go through less processes and it's going to be cheaper.
First and foremost, $12. It lasts you about 3 months to a year. Yeah, it does the job. Sometimes we think about things, right? It's not always that. If you do something, for example, like you can get a herbal toothpaste, for example. My herbal toothpaste retails at $4. Yeah, my plug disclosing retails at $6. The diamond brush retails at $6. It's not excessive. It's not this thing. But the diamond brush actually, if you look at it, the bristles are actually hand mixed. This is a very tedious process. It costs a lot of money to do. But that's why it works. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, you could sell it a lot cheaper. Then the margins will be cut for the people in the middle, and then they won't want to sell it. Do you know that they want 40 to 50% on the retail price for themselves before they stock a product and sell it? And then on top of that, just so that you know the retail market, for all of you who are wanting to go through retailers and think that, okay, we can go through Guardian or Watson's, Guardian actually charges you $120 per SKU, per item, per outlet to list. There are costs involved in distributing a product, there are costs involved in retailing a product. All these things play a picture. Great in the new blog atmosphere where you sell direct. Great. But if you want to reach the masses, where people just go and pick up stuff, etc., etc., 40% at least.
Because you spend so much effort and money into doing research and everything for this toothpaste, I think a good product has to have good packaging, something that looks attractive. So maybe you can look into ways to package the product nicer. Because right now when I look at the box, if it's next to all the other toothpaste, I won't give it a second look because it doesn't catch my eye. So maybe think about it.
The thing is, I'd rather have a distributor say, okay, I want the packaging changed. This is how I like it. This is how my market wants to do it. Let me just go do it the way they like. But because otherwise, it's a pain and a half redoing the packaging in another way, which the distributor doesn't like, and then says, I want to repackage. So, how many of you actually realize that design is something that is like the eye of the beholder? When you go out and flock your product to the market, know that different horses need different courses. Okay, and not necessarily it's not necessarily true that if it is not necessarily true that your product, if it reaches no a lot, it doesn't necessarily mean it's no good. You just got to know to whom it is good. To whom is this product very good? If you know to whom is this product very good, and you can promote it to them, then you have a market.